Okay, so hi guys, welcome to the talk series. I'm Dr. Zui here, and today I am back with again the different story, different personality entirely, and something new today. We are going to know about stuff, and it's almost all about the general things, but it's not at all general. If I'll tell you, if you come to know all of the facts behind this thing, and one person is perfect for this, that is, his name is Akash, and he's going to put a light on certain topics that we don't even talk about, and they are happening like almost all the times. You're also experiencing it, and it's going to be a surprise for all of us all together. Okay guys, thank you so much for connecting. I hope you're doing really fine. I'm going to connect Mr. Akash right away, and let's know the unknown people.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. How is everything? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm also fine. Where are you right now?
So I'm in Nagpur only.
Okay. So how is work going? How is your life?
It's been doing good. So actually, I'm moving to England for further education. Like I'm going to pursue like masters in food and development. So I'm just like preparing for
Okay.
that. Then like wrapping up stuff here in Nagpur.
Amazing. Amazing. So can people just know about you? Let's start with your introduction, please.
Yeah. So basically, I'm an engineering graduate. So I'm from Hingna. It's a like outskirt of Nagpur.
Yeah.
So I did my schooling from a school called Nehru Vidyalaya Hingna. Then since
Mm-hmm.
because I was living in Hingna, I didn't have that much of exposure and access I should have in terms of
Yeah.
different career path and in terms of the knowledge of different domains. So my knowledge was pretty limited when I was in 10th standard. I knew only two choices, that if you want to go for a medical, then go for 11 12, that is science
Yeah.
stream, and if you want to do engineering, then just go for polytechnic. And I wanted
Yeah.
to become an engineer, so I went for polytechnic. So I did my polytechnic from government polytechnic Nagpur, um, in metallurgy and material science engineering. So
Okay.
later, after completing polytechnic, I did job at like 3 4 different companies. I worked in the steel
Okay.
industry. I was in Mumbai for
Mm-hmm.
6 months, and for 9 months I was in Nagpur in Fecos Steels.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
After that period, like 1.5 year, I went for engineering. I did industrial engineering from Ramdeva College of Engineering. And when I was in
Okay.
engineering, the third year of engineering, I got exposed to this network called Nirman. And through Nirman, I got to know about
Okay.
Nanda Kaka. Then I got to know about Bijotsav. And during the same period, I started my first company. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I own a company called Agdi Clothing, in which we basically
Amazing.
um, print fabrics. Like we do all kinds of fabric printing. So in
Okay.
2013, there was first Bijotsav happening in Nagpur. So Nandaka introduced me to the team of Bijotsav and told me that there's this thing happening in Nagpur. I was not that interested in Bijotsav, to be very much honest, because
Okay.
I was young, I was immature. I was like, "Ki, I want to do social work. Why should I
Yeah.
work with farmers? That too
Yeah.
in the domain of seeds and everything. There is no point
Yeah.
in like working in this domain." But still, since Nanda Kaka introduced me to the team, I went for the Bijotsav as a volunteer. I talked to a lot of farmers and the people working in the livelihood and agriculture, and then I kind of
Yeah.
figured out, like I had some sense of clarity then. Okay, that yes, agriculture is pretty important domain, and
Yeah.
it are like for many issues, the root cause is the agriculture and the livelihood
Yeah.
at village level. So if you
Right.
cannot to it, if the agriculture system is failing, if the economy of villages are failing, then automatically it fuels other socio-economic issues. So thus I started
Yeah,
like since I got to know about this thing, I got to exposed to all these issues. I started working for Bijosser, and since 2013 I'm working for Bijosser. So like we have conducted
amazing.
around, yeah, thank you. So we conducted around 8 national seed festivals in Nagpur, in which we invite like people from all over India, like generally people who are into conservation of seeds, then sustainable lifestyle, then organic and natural farming, and the people who are into like policy intervention and other stuff. Yeah.
Amazing. So basically, you're learning about the ecosystem, I guess.
Yes.
Amazing. So the thing is, actually, a lot of people talk about this, like, हमने ये देख लिया, हमने वो देख लिया, related to climate and all of that stuff. So I am sure that you're going to give overall thorough knowledge about this, and people will come to know like what is actually happening in India. Okay, so I wonder, like, why have you got this sudden interest in agriculture? You were introduced to it, that's fine, but how did you generate that, like, okay, I need to go into deeper aspects of agriculture?
Yeah. So the thing is, when I got exposed to like people, like the farmers, and when I
Hmm.
talk like when I go to field, like I talk to people, like even like when you go to like bigger cities, like a bit like Mumbai, Delhi, and then there are a lot of people like
Yeah,
doing small jobs like auto rickshaw or other
yeah,
people, and when you talk to them, they will tell us that they are either farmers or they are
okay,
farm laborers, and they had moved to bigger cities because there is no jobs in villages, right?
right.
So the farming system is collapsing at villages, and the reason why
Hmm.
people are moving to cities. For an example, like if you take an
Right.
example of Nagpur, like so for an example, like Nagpur had 10 units of land, 10 units of air, 10 units of water, 10 units of public
Yeah.
health, 10 units of education, and everything is like limited to 10 units. And Nagpur
Yeah.
already have like 9 people living in it. So if the agriculture system is failing of Vardha village, then the
Hmm.
5 extra people from Varda will come to Nagpur in search of better employment, right? We already have only
Right.
10 units of everything, and these 5 more people will come to Nagpur. They will stay here. So the total number of people living in Nagpur will be 14. So
Yeah.
this will add burden, like the 4 people, this will add burden to the existing resources of Nagpur. Then these people
Hmm.
will form slums, right? Then these
Yeah.
people, so yeah, then what we will do, like what people like us do, that I will go to slums and I will teach students, like kids and everything.
Okay.
I will go to slums, I will talk about sanitation, the lack of
Hmm.
water, lack of electricity, and other thing. But even if you continue teaching kids of slums for next 10 years, next 100 years, it is not going to solve root
Yeah.
problem. Why in the first place they are moving
Obviously.
city? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of socio-economic issues, um strengthening of agriculture and livelihood is pretty important, that too on a decentralized level on a village in villages. Yeah.
Right. So livelihood consultancy, what exactly means? Like, okay, you give knowledge, you tell things about the things that are happening in the world to the village people, basically. But I think this consultancy thing is also needed to the urban people who are living, because they are living on the basis of these village people. They are the farmers. On the basis of their cultivation and everything, everything is coming in the urban cities. So how can you
Right.
just consult these people who are living in urban areas?
My perspective, I like provide consultation to like different government agencies like MSME, then KVIC, that too in
Yeah.
like in rural settings only. So what I do, like NGOs and the government approaches me, and they tell me that
Hmm.
this is a particular region, these are the natural
Hmm.
resources, what kind of local livelihood we can generate here, so that we can employ say 500 people or 1,000 people. So
Okay.
based on the traditional knowledge and based on the natural resource available there, we try to provide them some uh, like opportunities so that they can
Mm-hmm.
have they can generate a local employment there. Yeah.
Right. Amazing. Okay, so basically, can you tell us like what are the farmer friendly policies? Can you put a light on that?
So in my definition, like whatever
Mm-hmm.
policies government are framing or the states are framing, they should be inclusive. They should not be
Yeah.
exclusive to farmers. They should not be exclusive to like the agri input companies, or they should not be
Yeah.
exclusive to states. So when we talk about like farmer friendly policies, they should consider what exactly the need of farmers. Like every year,
Yeah.
like state like provides some amount to the account of farmers. Then again, center provides some amount to the on account of farmers. But when it is really needed, farmers don't really have money, right? Like when do we
Yeah.
like when do exactly? So we need money when there is a sowing season. Like we need money in the month of June, like or in the like
Right.
beginning of July. That time farmers don't have money at their hand, so they have to like dependent on like the saukars and or small lending banks, finance
Yeah.
banks. Yeah, and even like not everyone can get money on credit, right? So the thing is,
Right.
this is the
Right.
first place. Yeah, people, the state should consider the exact need of farmers. Another is like there is uh, sorry, there is a scheme from Chhattisgarh government. It is called Godhan
Okay.
Nyaya Yojana. So what they do, they buy the waste from coming from cows, buffaloes, and everyone. They
Mm-hmm.
buy from all the farmers and the pastoral communities, and
Okay.
they like make it into fertilizer by composting and everything. So what they are
Yeah.
doing, so this is like they are giving money to farmers, right? First, people are getting real money in their hand and on their will. Like whenever they need money, they can go and sell
Mhm.
their cow dung, right? This is the first.
Right.
Second is they are fueling this like whole process of organic farming or natural farming, because whatever cow dung like people are selling to the state, they are right, and then again this
Right.
fertilizer can be bought by farmers and they can use in like yeah, so farm. So basically we are kind of so it is a win-win situation for everyone, for state,
Mm.
for people like us, for farmers and everyone. So the consumption of chemical agri inputs are going down, then farmers are
Yeah.
getting real money when they actually
Mm.
need it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And overall the carbon
Yeah.
footprint
Yeah.
of all this process and the water virtual water footprint of all this process is pretty low.
Yeah, even I when I live nearby Nagpur only, I come to know like there are farmers still complaining about certain things. When there was a start of rainy season, they had no resources basically how to just do the process, and they are like, okay, there are policies, but when we actually need,
Yeah.
they are not there. So that's why they go
Hmm.
for protest. They scream at people. They say like कुछ भी नहीं मिलता है. हम लोग सब कुछ करते हैं. हमारा salary भी कम होता है. We sell things and everything. So what kind of solution we can provide to this problem, yeah?
I think this is a very multifaceted issue, and
Yeah.
I don't think so. I am qualified to like have an answer for this question, because like
But in your
India
opinion
is.
matters, no, Akash, because you have come to know everything like in and out.
So, so India is very
Yeah.
diverse. We cannot have a
Yeah.
one single shot, one single solution for all the problems. But like
Yeah.
problems have kind of share, they kind of share same pattern,
Yeah.
same phenomenon, but the
Yeah.
solution would be really different. Like if we are talking about some farms which are near to jungle, so the most the most fascinating problem the farmers from Vidarbha are facing, like from Chandrapur, Gadchiroli, or say Wardha,
Hmm.
man-animal conflict is the like biggest thing in Vidarbha right now. So every read newspaper, you will read that. one farmer, two farmer killed by either leopard or a tiger. So
Yeah.
then, like this fuels the constant, like constant fight or tussle between the farmers and the forest government and the forest department. This is
Yeah.
also like it should.
Yeah.
So when we talk about like farmer friendly policies, while like doing plantation in farms or while drafting policies for the jungle, states should also
Mhm.
consider views of farmers who are living beside jungle since centuries with
Right.
animals and with everything, right? These all rules are new, like the
Yeah.
wildlife protection, everything. I'm not saying we should not protect the wildlife, but I'm saying we should consider the people living by the jungles also. They are not here in just 10 years, they have been living there since
Right.
like centuries. Like tiger was
Mm-hmm.
present that time only, tigers are present this time only. So I think that would be a
Yeah. Yeah.
better
Yeah.
choice if we like keep all these things inclusive and take into consideration.
Amazing. Okay, so
Yeah.
like these are okay, fine. These are the main problems. But like as a person, if I want to volunteer, if I want to be a part of this thing, so what definition I should have for myself and for the work? What kind of contribution I should be giving to the field?
I think the like the most important contribution from a personal point of view you should be giving to our nation at this moment is you should ask right question. This is not happening since last many years in India. Like
Mm-hmm.
we have this habit of doing all these things very on a very superficial level instead of going for the
Yeah,
root. And this is happening everywhere. It's not just limited to politics. It is happening
yeah,
in social development sector. It is happening government. It is happening everywhere. Everyone is
yeah, yeah.
working on these superficial issues instead of working
Mm-hmm.
on the roots. So the problem will be there for centuries. Like
Yeah,
every year new player will come, they will show these problems, and they will
yeah,
milk
yeah.
money, they will get the awards and everything, but problem will be there. So I
Yeah,
think people.
that's how I feel like India is totally dependent, like the economy of India is totally dependent on agriculture basis itself. But they're not even giving a like 100% of in like total interest in it. So like what is happening under the root and how to get out of there and how to have actual solutions on this. They are just being superficial on every level. So, like, I really want to know, is it really like 100% true that our Indian economy is dependent on the agriculture itself?
Can you repeat? I didn't get the last part.
Okay, so I said, like, is India, its economy is dependent on agriculture itself?
Yeah, so out of 100% employment, around
Hmm.
43% employment, like agriculture sector employs around 43% of people in India, right? Out of
Yeah.
100%. And then the contribution of
Hmm.
agriculture sector in the GDP is like around 14-15%. So you can imagine if like around half of the people are getting employed by agriculture and the contribution is just 15%, you can imagine
Yeah.
what kind of state we are living in. So rest of the
Yeah.
85% people are, yeah, getting employment from 50% of sorry, the 50% people are getting employment from 85%. So there will be inequality, there will be income equality, there will be everything. So I think
Yeah.
we should have some serious um, like contribution towards agriculture and livelihood. Unless and until we invest in big way in agriculture, I don't think so we are going to solve this issue, because everyone know the state of employment in India. So I don't want to go into
Yeah.
that. But in a nation
Please,
like
let's not talk about it.
exactly, yeah. So in a country like India, so we have around 1.3 billion or something like that, like population of India. So we are a
Yeah.
uh, so whatever we should have a labor intensive thing, right? You cannot go
Mm-hmm.
and have a machine which will replace 5%, five working person, right?
Yeah,
What
yeah, yeah.
will these 5%
Obviously
will
not.
do? They will come on
Yeah.
road. They will snatch your phone. They will snatch your purse. Is this thing you really want to like happen in India, right?
That is
So
actually
this is what
happening like almost all the times.
exactly. So there is a phenomena called Maslow's theory.
Mm-hmm.
They teach Maslow's theory in engineering in MBA also. Like
Yeah, yeah.
so on a bottom level there are basic needs. Like when we talk about needs,
The hierarchy, if
or
you,
the
yeah,
hierarchy of needs. Yes, yes.
yeah, yeah.
Instead of going for the bottom one, the basic needs, we are aiming for the third or fourth level. Like
Yeah,
we are aiming
true,
for,
true.
yeah, yeah. So this is what happening with India and everything. And people are living in silos and in bubble. People from middle class, we are not actually middle class. We belong to upper middle class, but we like
Mm-hmm.
pacify ourselves with that we belong to middle class, but we are not. Um,
Yeah,
so we are living in bubble. We are not aware about the actual problems and the actual situation of a lot of people living in poverty, living under poverty, and there
yeah,
are
yeah,
n
yeah,
number
yeah.
of issues. If you travel in like remote areas, you will see the real issues we are facing. Like
Yeah.
having n number of highways around the city is not the solution. Like you won't buy a sweater if you are living in Goa, right? But this is
Mm-hmm.
what we are doing. We are living in Goa, but we are buying warm clothing.
We need to get our steps ahead somewhere to just towards making a developing country towards a developed country, maybe. So how are we supposed to do that? I am sure like you are also doing that same thing by studying deeply into it. But why are you going to England? I didn't get that.
Okay. So the thing is, I'm working in this sector since 2013, and since I'm an engineering graduate, and then I got interested in studying the economics of agriculture and the overall
Mhm.
inequality in India. So Nanda Kaka, like Nanda Khare, suggested me to go for masters in economics, and I did masters in economics also. But while working with
Okay.
government, while working with a lot of NGOs, I figured out that in India, in India, unless and until you have something in formal setting, people
Mhm.
really don't care. Like
Right.
they ask you what do you have in formal setting, like what kind of degree you have, like you are proposing about this particular thing like organic farming or seed conservation, but you don't have anything like any education in this stuff in a formal setting. So this was
Particular field,
thing
yeah.
like yeah, exactly. And for the same amount of work you can have larger impact if you work with
Hmm.
government, irrespective of the differences of opinion or a lot of other issues. You know how government works. But if you really
Yeah.
want to bring some change, real change, I'm not talking about the superficial thing which we do for awards
Yeah,
and
yeah.
recognition, everything. We really need
Hmm.
to work in hand with, like, hand in hand with government. You cannot like exclude government from anything. Like especially when you are
Yeah.
working in social development sector, you have to work with government if you really want to bring some change. And so to work with government, they always ask you what do you have like in a formal setting. And then again, the kind of silos and bubbles we work in as a
Yeah.
development professional also, there are a number of hierarchy and a number of bubbles. So I got stuck in it. Yeah, to be very much honest, I got stuck. I didn't see any growth. I didn't see any
Hmm.
I think uh, I could have managed to have more impact for the same amount of work I have been doing. And that was a point I
Hmm.
think, okay, I should have something formal, education in formal setting in agriculture and development sector. So then I
Yeah.
tried to find out some courses in India, but we don't have that orientation from that front. Like hardly we consider agriculture a serious issue. So the very reason we don't have
Yeah.
any proper course. So then I got to know about a college called IDS. There is a college called Institute of Development Studies at Brighton, University of Sussex. It is first
Okay.
rank college since last 8 9 years in development sector. And there is a course called Food and Development. So whatever work I have been doing in Nagpur in Vidarbha, so that course is on the same lines. So I thought, okay, like we have a short.
Okay.
So I applied for that course, and I also applied for another course called Poverty and Development in the same college. I got admission from both the courses, and then again, um, um, having a formal degree in England is not a
Mm-hmm.
joke. Like it is expensive. England is pretty expensive. Then I
Yeah.
applied for like scholarship. I applied for Chevening scholarship. I also applied for World Bank scholarship, and I got through both. So yeah, so I'm
Amazing.
finally going to
Congratulations on
England.
that.
Yeah, thank you. So my college is starting on 17th of September, like exactly 1 month from today.
Wow, are you ready for that?
Yes, I'm preparing.
Okay, so when are you going to come back to India and change this agricultural main problem of India?
I won't say change. I will do my bit, but I cannot say
Okay,
I will change. Change is a pretty big word to say, but so I will come back next year in the month of November or December 2023.
amazing. So
Yeah.
I really hope that you're going to put your steps ahead somewhere so that you can
And,
bring your give your bits towards it.
hmm,
That's
hmm.
amazing. So can you just tell me like when was it initiated overall? Like whatever you are doing, when was it actually initiated? And how do you really think that humans are doing a total justice towards agricultural field?
What initiated? I didn't get that. I couldn't hear.
Like you doing all of these things, trying to bring a change, giving this knowledge, education, and everything. When did you initiate that?
Okay, so like in 2013, when I started working for Bijoso, that was just for because Nanda asked me to work with Bijoso. But later on, when I talk to farmers, when I talk to like people involved in seed conservation or people involved in policy intervention, then I got to know, okay, the
Hmm.
agriculture is the biggest thing in the world which dictates the overall development and the politics of the world, trade and everything. So that's
Yeah.
why a person working in the sector of agriculture is kind of the thing is, if you work in the sector of like education or health, like no one will say anything, everyone will appreciate your work. Okay, you are doing this, you are doing that. But
Yeah.
when I talk about sustainable agriculture, so what
Yeah.
I talk about, like sustainable agriculture means the consumption of agrochemical inputs should come down. So there are two, three
Hmm.
people selling agriculture inputs. So these people will
Yeah.
get offended, and there are a number of
Obviously.
the list of a number of people. So that's why people get offended. So it's not an easy sector to work. And I got to know about
Yeah.
all these things while working with these people, while talking with these people. Okay, there are n number of factors in agriculture sector,
Hmm.
and these all things dictates everything, be it government, be it everything. So and in general, the way my approach is, I cannot work on a superficial level. I cannot just uh, work for the sake of working or for the sake of just
Yeah.
recognition
Yeah. Yeah.
everything. So yeah, I won't be able to sleep, I won't be able to ask honest question to myself. That's the reason I thought, okay, this is the area we can work, this is the real issue, and no one really works on it. No one really. And also, like people, even people are working in this sector, they have this narrow mindset. Like they have compartmentalized all these issues. Like pastoralists should, the problem of pastoralists are different, the problem of farmers are different, the problem of
Yeah.
forest dwellers are different. they have compartmentalized all these sectors, and it is not the case. All these things are like interconnected with each other, with like a lot of complex cycles, but people really don't want to
Yeah, yeah.
consider them. They didn't want to or like address them. And yeah, so these all these things culminated like taking this decision of working in this sector.
Amazing. So you have been into this from 2013, right?
Sorry.
2013, from the year of 2013, you have started this thing, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's been many years that you have been working on. I hope that you do some uh, a little changes in this one. Okay, so do you
I hope
think
so.
that there are like the humans, like more specifically us, doing justice to this agriculture, the field?
I don't think so. In India, I don't think so. People, so there is another like since we are from Vidarbha. Vidarbha is pretty infamous for farmer suicide.
Yeah,
But have what have we done about it? Like when farmers really need money, state is not there. State is completely absent. But when some farmer commits suicide, then only all these people, all these politicians come, and they
yeah,
award some money. They give widow like saving machine and
yeah,
everything.
showing some kind of
So
sympathy or
yeah,
something, but
exactly. It shows
that
you do
doesn't
not
work.
consider a farmer a citizen of India or a person living in your nation unless and until he commits
Right.
suicide. So this is the sorry state of our nation.
That's really a sad news. Like people are not even understanding the food that they're eating and getting from the market. It's only because of
Yeah,
them, and you should be actually thanking for everything, like providing all of this stuff.
yeah.
We are going to do it. Sure about that. Okay, so let's have a little bit
Yeah.
change direction of the
Another thing
topic.
is,
Yeah, yeah, yes. Another thing.
yeah. So another thing is, yeah, we have been become habitual to events, like events after events. Like since last few
Hmm.
years, we know the kind of events we are attending and the kind of events we have become part of. Um,
Hmm.
so keeping a person alive is a process, and farmers help you in that process by like providing you food, right?
Yeah,
So and that's the reason you cannot see the contribution of farmers. No, not you cannot see the contribution of farmers. You don't want to consider, you don't want to see the contribution of farmers. But same like
yeah,
if I met in accident, so I will go to a doctor and he will operate me or he will save me and that. So what I will say, okay, the doctor saved my life, right? So
yeah,
this is an event. This is an event. This is an accident. But what about the
yeah.
process of keeping me alive for like last
The
20, 25
food.
years? Exactly. So no one talks about the farmers who's keeping you alive for last 25 years. But everyone will talk about the doctor who
Yeah.
has just like, yeah, I don't know what to say.
No, you can be true to this. Like you can say whatever you like. It's not a problem here.
Yeah, this is what I think. Like people don't want to see the process. So event
Yeah,
is the result of culminated efforts of process, right? It should
right.
not be reversed. So we have been habitual of so much of events, and no one
Mm-hmm.
really cares about the process. It is happening in everywhere,
Yeah.
be it politics, be it social development sector, be it everywhere. So as a normal citizen, normal Indian, I think people should see through this event, see the process happening before and after the event. But no one
Yeah.
really care about it, and why people are so skeptical about the process, why they don't want to see the whole process happening behind the events, or the processes which
I
culminates into the
think I
event.
know the reason behind this. The thing is, people have been talking about the event so much. सो द थिंग इज व्हाट हैपेंस इज हम लोग जो सुनते हैं जो किसी के मतलब कहीं पढ़ लेते हैं या कुछ होता है तो वहां पर वो सारी चीजों को ज्यादा फोकस किया जाता है बट जहां पर फार्मर्स इश्यूज है उनके लाइफस्टाइल का प्रॉब्लम है फूड डेफिसिट है अभी ऑर्गेनिक तो कहीं मिलेगा ही नहीं तुमको ये तो भूल ही जाओ ऑर्गेनिक ढूंढने निकलोगे तो वो बहुत ही मुश्किल हो जाएगा so it's like they're not even putting some light on these issues, not in the newspaper, not on the even radios most of the times, and not on the news also. So जब तक दिखेगा नहीं तब तक लोगों को रियलाइज भी कैसे होगा कि भाई हम लोग एक्चुअल में कितना पानी में हैं। और एक टाइम ऐसा आएगा कि ये सब हमारे लिए काम करना अगर बंद कर देंगे तो हम क्या करेंगे
Huh.
तो
Another thing,
वेयर विल वी
we
गेट
are
द
living
फूड
in a toxic, yeah. So we are living in a toxic positivity world. Everyone wants to talk
या
about
यू
the
कैन से दैट
positive thing. So I have a number of friends who talks about just positive things. They don't want to see the real things. Like it's not like you are talking
या
about negative stuff. It's about you're talking about the things you are seeing, things you are observing. But no, they just want to
या
talk about the positive stuff. And I don't know, like
राइट
they don't want to see the real India. They don't want to see the real issues of India. So this is the bubble we are living in. This is the positive bubble we are living in.
या
And the
people
leaders
living
of
in
our
such
nation,
aesthetic world right now, they do care about possession, materialistic possessions, and all of the best things
yes,
that are coming right now, like related to technology and everything. And also, they are also talking about the organic food where they get. They also take a lot of initiative to like, okay,
true,
हम लोग यहाँ जाते हैं, वहाँ जाते हैं, यहाँ से ये खरीद लेंगे, वो खरीद लेंगे, health अच्छा रहेगा, going towards fitness and everything. But वो कहाँ से आ रहा है? Basically, it's all about food. एंड वो
true.
मैटर को कोई टच ही नहीं करना चाहता है क्योंकि ये पीपल से लाइक ये उनका प्रॉब्लम है हम खरीदेंगे हम पैसे दे रहे हैं इट्स देयर प्रॉब्लम सो
Hmm.
एवरीबॉडी इज लाइक पुटिंग असाइड जो भी हो रहा है वो सब
True.
तो इसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं यार लाइक वी नीड टू हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ अटेंशन ऑफ एवरी वन टूवर्ड्स दिस मेन इशू
So the thing I like suggested in the beginning that people should start asking right questions. Like,
या
and when we talk about agriculture, we have to stand for some issues. Like we are standing up for some issues, real issues, and it is going to bite you back, right? So
या या
if you have real spine, then only you can talk about all these issues.
राइट
Or like there are n number of things, like n number of players involved in all this sector. So and like you will have your friend's father having a krushi kendra, and if you are talking
या
about the organic farming, then indirectly you are kind of talking against these people.
या
So this is the trade off. And yeah, like people are wise enough to choose.
I hope it something happens here so that farmers can actually live a great life. Let's hope. Okay,
Hmm.
so can you tell me what's your definition of success, Akash?
Okay. So, as for now, at
Mhm.
this moment, I think for me, success is like if I am achieving if I am achieving something for the efforts I am putting in, then yeah, it is a success for me, irrespective of the material wealth, irrespective of the recognition it is bringing. But if it is having an
Mhm.
impact, if it is having good impact, then yeah, it is a success for me.
Great, great. Okay, so see, everything that we're talking about is totally connected to the ecosystem more specifically. So let's talk about the climate change now. The thing is, this year in the March itself, we have experienced such big kind of heat here itself. It is not supposed to start in the month of March. It started in like very soon. So it was like experienced by a lot of people and they say like climate change ho raha hai. They're talking about stuff. But what is the actual reason behind it? Why is it happening?
What is the what?
Why is it happening? Why people are talking about this and why it has
Okay.
happened this year itself?
It is not happening this year only. It has been happening in bits and pieces since long. It's just that like
Yeah.
we are kind of reaching to that tipping level, so the tipping point. So that's why like people are realizing, okay, the climate change is real. Till now, everyone was like, okay, climate change is a hoax. Climate change is not a real thing. But you can
Yeah.
see the kind of monsoon we are observing in Vidarbha. This is not the case. This is not the usual case. So
Okay.
the the rains are happening in a concentrated level. Like 1 liter of rain will happen in a 1 day. I'm just giving an example. Don't go into like
Okay.
actual numbers of it. Yeah. So we need
Okay.
rain that will be
Mm-hmm.
spread over a month. So we need 1 liter of rain in a duration of 1 month. But we are getting 1 liter of rain in a single day, and that's why all this flood and everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, even we
Same is
experienced a flood here. It was like it was really chaotic for the people who were living near that river area, and
yeah.
it was like I cannot, I don't want to imagine that. That was really bad. But yeah, it's not only about hate. Everything is changing. Like, what is the real cause of it? Like, actually, I know, we are the culprit who are putting all the bad impact on the climate itself. It's all about industries and every kind of a pollution that we create here. I am sure about that. But what are we supposed to do? Like, we need to accept this change, or is it going to happen in a good way next year?
So this is not going to remain same. If like if you want to accept this change, this is not going to remain the same. It is going to get far worse. So you have to accept this change
What?
in every
You
year.
scared
So
me.
another thing that usually people ask, what should you do on a personal level to tackle the climate change?
Yeah,
Again, I think
right.
this is a very common narrative that all these corporations and all these governments have managed to put you into. Like, unless and until government and big organization works towards it, our individual efforts
Mm-hmm.
are not going to work. Period.
Right.
Like, people will say no, every small efforts matters. Yeah, it does, but it won't when we talk about the whole scenario, when we talk about the whole picture. So we should make governments and big organizations responsible for it. We should hold them accountable. We should ask right question.
Yeah,
There is no other way. There is simply no other way.
totally right. Okay, so can you tell us the main concept of sustainable living or sustainable livelihood? And also, can you share your own tips or exercises to like overcome that? Like maybe to initiate that process?
Like, when we talk about sustainable, there are n number of aspects. Like, we use so many things in our day-to-day life which are not at all sustainable, which doesn't align with the sustainable living. Like, we use shampoos, we use vehicles, we use like detergent. So all these
Yeah.
things like pollute air, water, and everything. So
Can we talk about plastic here?
yeah.
Can you tell us what kind of an impact does plastic is like does here at this present time? Even if people are saying it's banned here, but still, can you tell it is being
So
used, I think, almost everywhere.
so we had this event 2 days back, right? And we
Yes.
use plastic flags everywhere. Like, the polyester flags are plastic flag. We use
Yeah.
we use polyester t-shirt. These are plastics.
Yeah.
These are woven plastic. It's just
Yeah.
that it's not press. It's woven.
Yeah.
So yeah, plastic is omnipresent. You cannot
Mm.
escape from plastic. And even if you like, and I don't think so you can shy yourself away from the things which are made up of plastic. Like, if you are using car, if you are using two-wheeler, if you are going by plane, if you are going by train, everything. So all
Yeah.
these things are plastic. So uh, I don't see I don't think there is a solution from a personal point of view,
Hmm.
unless government or unless big companies really take some efforts towards it. Otherwise you cannot, like, so you can just so you will minimize your plastic consumption, right? but
Yeah.
in a long run, what will be the effect of it? So from a
Hmm.
100 kgs of plastic, you are just reducing 1 gram of plastic. Yeah, people will talk about
Yeah,
what.
that is not going to affect anything
Yeah, so people will talk
anyways.
about, okay, what if like lakhs of people will cut down their consumption of plastic? It won't happen. It doesn't happen. It is what
Mm-hmm.
like government and companies are trying to convince you, but it won't.
Okay, Akash, there is a question from
So
like
as
she is my
someone,
cousin sister. Yeah, yeah. She's
okay,
saying, she's asking the question, what do you think about clothes made from recycled plastic?
it is the same thing, right? So what we do, we make
Mm-hmm.
plastic bottles like PET bottles. Then we bring it down to granules. Then we again
Yeah.
melt it. Then we weave it fabric, right? But
Yeah.
what about the energy consumption for everything? Like when you break down the bottle, when you make the granules of it, when you melt it, when you weave it. What about the energy consumption on this? What about the carbon footprint?
My goodness. Also, it's still
Have you
there.
ever
Basically,
given a
it's
thought of
already
it?
there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not useful at all, anyways.
Exactly. So, like we have this natural yarn, we have this cotton. Like, why don't you use cotton? Why
Mm-hmm.
you have to go for a man-made yarn, which is plastic, just in a different form,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So use cotton. It is healthy for us. It is healthy for everyone. It is healthy for us. It is healthy for planet also.
Right. So for sustainable living, can you tell us a few measures or few exercises to practice daily purpose?
Oh, it's a difficult question actually.
Not for you, I guess. You have
Because
solutions
I
for
don't
every
want
single
to
question I asked you.
suggest things which I don't do. So it
Okay,
so
what
I
you
try.
do?
So when I travel, I try to use as much as public transport as possible. When I travel, as in
Okay.
when I'm in not Nagpur.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't buy plastic bottles, be it
Okay.
water, be it Coke, be it Pepsi or anything. And yeah, I don't buy clothes made of polyester yarn, which is again plastic.
Okay.
These are few things. Yes, I don't travel
Can you
unnecessarily.
take, okay. Can you tell about your clothing, this startup that you have started, Akri Clothing, right?
Yeah. So in 2013, I started this company. The basic motto was
Mm-hmm.
to have a funky and quirky t-shirts. But then
Mm-hmm.
when I got to expose like all these things, I got to know about the kind of pollution the garment industry is doing. Like dyeing industry,
Yeah.
like the garment industry is the second or third most uh, like like when it comes to like pollution, it is like on the third number or something like that, the dyeing and
Yeah.
printing thing. So that's why we started doing block printing. In block printing, you have to do printing manually, and you have to use natural
Mm-hmm.
dyes and natural pigments. So yeah, again, this was my efforts to bring down the chemical inputs in printing process. Um, but it is kind of, so it's more about like educating people when we talk about block printing or when we talk about the sustainable printing processes, because people are not aware of it, especially if you are living in a city like Nagpur. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have that much of awareness also, and we don't have that orientation also. When we talk about like
Right.
climate change, we just talk about like electric cars. Like, yeah, so electric cars is getting electricity from thin air, right? We are not
Yeah.
burning coal for the electricity. It is just getting
Yeah.
electricity from thin air. So this is how we escape from everything. If you if you go in Chandrapur, there's a nearby district, Chandrapur. There are n number of mines. If you ever
Yeah.
see a mine and if you see a adjoining village, you will see the price the people living in that village is paying for the electricity we are using. You won't be able to sleep. Trust me. If you have a little bit of
What?
heart, you won't be able to sleep. Yeah. So for us, it's easy to switch on a light or switch on a fan. But the kind of price, we never talk about the environmental price of anything. We just talk about the production cost and then the carrying cost. But have we talked about the environmental cost? Have we talked about the health cost incurred to the families of the villages? No.
Yeah.
So these are all things which we never talk about. And it's a big complex thing, but usually we don't want to see complex things. So yeah, sab changa
Yeah,
si.
but yeah, so that's what people have started to accept. Like, सब अच्छा है तो यार क्या problem क्या है बात ही क्यों करना है इस topic पे?
So,
That's
hmm,
fine,
hmm.
but it's the basic necessity, and as you have said, like it's going to go far worse in coming few years. I am sure, like that time people will say like यार तब कर लिया होता तो शायद कुछ आता हमारे पास या फिर हम लोग अच्छे रह- like that.
Hmm.
So I'm happy
Yeah.
to this conversation with you and coming to the real facts and the truths of India, basically. And I'm sure like you're going to go to England and come back with some exciting news for India itself. Being anywhere, I'm totally into this project. If you're starting or something of your own, I'm totally 100% into it. If you need any help, if you need a volunteers for some certain stuff, I'm already there. Okay, the second thing is there are viewers who have been listening to our journey, to the knowledge that you are providing us today. Can you give them a message, like a very strong message, like wake up message or wake up call for them? Do you have something like that to address?
Start asking right questions to the right people. People hold your friends, family, government, everyone accountable for their deeds. That's the best thing you can do at this age, at period.
Mhm.
Half of the
Awesome.
problems won't
Okay,
be there
so
if you start asking right questions.
yeah, but if there are no questions, that means people are already comfortable with whatever they have, right?
Yeah.
So people like you always will be having questions.
Yeah, I'm
What's
fine
your
with that.
recent question now? What is your recent question that you always have in your head while you're working, while you're sitting normally? What is that one question that pops up in your head all the time?
As an Indian citizen, how can we be so dumb? This is the question I ask. I keep asking myself. I keep asking a lot of people.
Literally, yaar.
We have become
That's
a party
the
of dumb
truth.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we are saying like कितना diverse है हमारा इंडिया. हमारे पास एग्रीकल्चर है. हम लोग बहुत क्या बोलते हैं उसको डाउन टू अर्थ है. हम लोगों को बहुत कीमत है. Okay, where is all of that? Whatever you are saying right now, where is all of that?
So I'm not talking about just politics. So
Yeah,
a lot of people will have this mindset that I'm
misconception
talking.
about yeah,
Yeah, so I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about in general approach of the people. We have
everyone.
become absolute dumb,
Yeah,
and we have this habit of
exactly.
making people god. Like, why you have to be a part of a cult? Like, yeah, he
Yeah,
is or she is a human being. Why are you
yeah.
seeing he or her as a god? Be it a political leader, be it a
Even
person
I
working in a
question.
development sector or a social change maker.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone is a human being.
If there is a
The
person who has done something amazing, like ये तो भगवान है यार हमारे इन्होंने तो बहुत बड़ा बदलाव लाया है यहाँ पर.
but it's not the case. That person can right. Then that person can do
Right.
mistakes. So you have to just accept
Obviously.
that he's not a god.
Mm.
She's not a god.
Yeah.
So you have to accept that. You have to start using your brains, or otherwise we are we are going in a oh, ठीक है.
No, you can say Akash, please. Don't stop yourself like that.
I'm saying we we have stopped thinking for everything. So if I told you, like you asked me what kind of question, like what kind of suggestion you will give to the viewers or the people
Yeah.
from when we talk about sustainable lifestyle. What I told you that I don't want to give any. suggestion which I cannot follow, which I cannot do in my life.
Yeah,
But
right,
exactly opposite is happening everywhere.
right. I mean, every
I
small
mean,
step is actually counted, but it's just like you just are wow, you are one decision away to take that step. It's just like that.
true, true. So,
Amazing.
like,
It was like an eye-opener session for me, yeah, Akash. I don't know what to say. I feel dumb now.
don't say anything to
Shit.
me. We are dumb. We are actually dumb.
Actually, like yeah, that's true. Let's come to the reality now. So basically, we can sum up with the facts. Like summing up with the facts, like okay, climate change is always about to happen just because of all of us that we are using some energy, the resources of provided by nature, and also manipulating it for ourselves. That is one of the stupidest things that have been doing for many years. Second thing is agriculture is the mother of everything. So whatever you do, wherever you go, it's all about the food. It's all about the root and it's all about related to earth. Until and unless you cultivate a better food from your own soil, from your own earth, you're not going to survive here for a long period of
Yeah,
time. Third thing is we Indians being proud of having agriculture as our basic thing, as like being dependent on more of Indian economy basis, if I can say. We are not having any like total interest or maybe the real facts about it. I'm sure you're going to tell real facts in the coming sessions. Maybe I'll just totally focus on the agriculture topic so that you can say, okay, ये करना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए. So this is basically
yeah.
agriculture. Okay.
Okay.
And fourth thing is ask right questions to right people. I think this should be the title of your session, Akash. Or it's like kind
You
of
can
okay.
have any title of
Let's
your
have
choice.
this. This is my choice. I like this. Okay, and message was really clear. It's like a wake up call. Like please जागो सब कुछ खत्म होने वाला है एक दिन इतना सा करके कुछ नहीं होगा. If you want to live more and have a better healthy living life, you just have to move towards the deep root causes of everything what is happening today. And last and for like last at least, I do this. I ask this question to every guest on the show. Okay, so I needed your feedback on the show that I started. How do you like it and how did it help you? The talk show, the Legit Talks.
Mm, I think there should be more people like you who talk about the real issues. Like there are a number of shows happening in India and in the world, and
Right.
mostly they are scripted, unlike ours.
Right.
And like when like when Jui approached me for this thing, like I told her I will be completely honest during the show, and she told me, yeah, you can be completely honest. There is no filter. This is not happening, right? So if you are going for a show or if you are even for an interview, they give you a script. They tell you things you cannot talk about this, you cannot talk about that. Like so, I
Yeah.
used to write for two two newspaper. I wrote for Sakar, I wrote for Lok Satta, I wrote some pieces for Logical Indian also. So I won't tell you the name, but when I was writing about things, so editor called me and told me write something which a housewife will enjoy. Do not write about all these big things. So
Okay.
yeah,
Dude,
but
what did he meant basically? Like housewives don't have that much big brain to talk about real issues, or maybe they just want some bitching stuff on newspapers.
yeah, so this is what the editor said.
My
Like
goodness, this is so
do
shit.
not yeah, do not write about the real issues. Write about the small and minion things like this. But this is not the
And
case
how
with
does
this
it
show,
help
right?
you?
Exactly. What is the point of like what is the point of writing then? Like if you do not want to showcase the real issues. But irrespective of
Basically,
that,
it's
I
for
feel
enjoyment then. It's just creating a topic in people's head and to just laugh about it or maybe not taking actions on it.
exactly.
That is bad. I didn't like this thing at all. I didn't
Yeah.
like this thing.
So irrespective of that, I kept on writing. I thought, okay, I
Right.
will do that. I never did it. But this is not the case with this show. Like I am like 110% saying that I was completely honest, and
Wow.
I don't know. So there are a few things I spoke which are controversial, but yeah, okay, I'm fine with it. I don't want to lie to myself. I don't
I
want to
am
lie to you.
happy.
I don't want to lie to people watching me. Yeah. So this is the best thing. There
Basically,
should be
I'm
more people
happy.
like
Like
you.
talking about real stuff is the only thing else. You're just living in the false world. जो तुमने create किया है खुद से और वो उसी में मर जाएगा, उसी में खत्म हो जाएगा. When until and unless you go to the real world, you will not come to know like भाई चल क्या रहा है जिंदगी में. बबल से बाहर
Exactly.
निकलो यार.
Hmm.
So even I
So I
also
think
tell these things to people and friends. They're like, अबे पागल है क्या इतना देशभक्त बनने की जरूरत नहीं है or something like that. It's like, okay, fine, cool with you. That's okay.
true. So I
Okay, it
think
was
this
like,
show can be a very good space for
mhm,
people like us
yeah,
who can talk about the real things. And I hope
yeah,
this will also help a lot of other people, other viewers, to think about it, to see the problems from the real perspective instead of the perspective which
yeah.
are shown to your throat by the government, by the media, and by everything.
Yeah, everything is really a complex cycle. I hope that people
True,
understand the cycle first, and until and unless they understand it, they won't know like उनके साथ क्या हो रहा है, असल में दुनिया कैसे चल रही है.
true,
That's the
true
thing.
that.
Thank you so much, Akash, for this. I really like the feedback also. I'll keep going. I'll keep finding people like you who are actually realistic with their thoughts and the actions. And I congratulate you on being selected and going to the England finally. I hope you enjoy that
Thank
educational
you.
field and have that enjoyable time there and come back soon to get some changes here. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you so much
yeah.
for everything.
Thank you.
Really
Yeah,
an amazing session. Thank you so much, Akash. See you next time.
thank you. Chalo, bye.
Bye. Oh, guys, like eyes, brain, I think everything opened today. Like the way of looking towards life and the reality is totally changed. The thing we call reality is not basically reality. We have created something. The real stuff is how we are actually paying respect towards the basic needs that the people are providing us. Farmers and the laborers who are working day and night for us to like feed, like have great food and survive this life. I hope you have this session enjoyable, find it enjoyable, and also informational one. And like it's kind of an educational hour, maybe. I really like this thing. Like today, I had a conversation with Akash, and I hope I find such people more on the show and give you more real facts about life and everything what is happening around us. Thank you so much, guys, for being there and keep supporting me like this. And I'm going to have more guests on the show and we can have great talks with them. Whatever questions you have, you can directly, like you always do, you put on the comment section. It is really a nice thing. Again, I'm going to come, I don't know when, very soon with another guest. And it's going to have, like, we are going to have a great time again. So thank you so much, guys. Always stay live, stay connected with me on the show. And bye. Namaste.